Welcome back, Fire Emblem 12, Lunatic-Reverse, 0% Growth, Chapter 19. We've got another set of support conversations to go through, including a luck bond from Fina and a very nice strength bond from Marth. We need to cover a ton of ground very quickly on this map, so we're taking 5 Draco Knights, and I also need a Horseman. Beck's luck is too high to soak ballista shots with the 2% crit rule, but a reclassed Astrum is just perfect. With 5 Draco Knights, the lack of Belf might be surprising, but we're focusing on axes this time, and so Samson's gonna make his debut. Abel can't really use axes, but unlike Belf, his luck is low enough for the 2% crit rule, so that's why he gets to come along. 90% of this map is cavalry, so the reason we want a bunch of axe users is that the Poleax has a higher base might than the Rider's Bane, as well as having triangle advantage against basically everything. It does need a bit of forging though, plus 5 might and plus 5 hit, and we'll name it Harken, because the Poleax in this game literally looks exactly like Harken. Look at this, I'm not lying, it's exactly the same. Try to tell me these aren't the same, I fucking dare you. That's also why I named the Rider's Bane Forge Isadora in the previous chapter, since the characters are a couple and the weapons go together in this map. It's a tiny little fix to inventory and formation and we're ready to go. Now let's get started. Marth needs to visit a village across some mountains to the southeast, and it's a long walk, and there are also some enemy thieves who can get there very quickly. The village is also guarded by 4 enemy warriors with tons of HP, speed, and strength, so unfortunately we're going to have to crit all 4 of them if we want to go fast. Keep in mind though, there are only 6 routed crits, so we're getting most of them out of the way on these warriors. Now I did find a strat with 0 crits on the warriors, but it was a few turns slower and required Fina and a healer dodging the ballista in the center of the map, which has a lower success rate than just getting these crits, so we might as well do it the fast way. Zane was forced to transform in range of a ballista, but he's fine thanks to Militia's Recover Staff, which got her 2 A-rank staves as a sage. Palla needs to chunk 2 of these 3 warriors on counter, and one of them has a bow, so she needed to come here with Yote's shield, although without that effective bow damage, a Tomahawk warrior attacks at 2 range instead. The Life Sphere gets to work right away for us, and Minerva positions the Geosphere to boost our 3 warrior killers, because remember, the Geosphere doesn't affect the unit holding it, and Palla gets in position to kill the 4th warrior on counter. If you've seen my Vanilla Hard 3 run, you'll remember that visiting the arena, vendor, armorer, or even a house will change the RNG in some sort of way. And so with save states and repeated visits, you can basically do whatever you want. It basically becomes GBA Fire Emblem. You'll see though that I use this power very responsibly, and I've edited the video to always make it look like it was just one visit. Despite the fact that we're rigging crits, there's still some strategy involved here, since Daros and Samson are way too weak to kill these warriors from full. We had to get that damage in from Palla first. Zane, however, as a copy of Palla, is strong enough to kill them from full, and for all 3 of them, the crit chance was about 36, thanks to the Geosphere, which is pretty good as far as these things go. Now in order to move as fast as possible, Katarina has to pull the first pack of Paladins here on turn 2, but the downside of that is that she'll only be far enough forward to counter 2 of them, rather than pulling next turn and potentially countering all of them. Militia hit A-rank stabs last turn, so she is free to fortify along with Cord, and our army starts to look a little healthier. Being a sage instead of a bishop only gives her fortifies 1 more point of healing, but you'd be surprised how much that matters. Katarina's in range of a ballista here, but we can send Abel to soak it for us with the 2% crit rule after he rigs a crit for Palla's Killer Lance. He's going to trade the Life Sphere off of Palla to heal up after getting hit by the ballista, and he's safe in this spot since Palla's holding the choke point against that warrior. Note that Palla convoy warps the Star Sphere here, because we need to get it onto Katarina on player phase. Now this player phase is absolute hell on earth. In order for Marth to reach the village next turn, Fina has to dance him, but Fina can't get any closer than this without dying to the ballista. She is, however, able to get the Star Sphere onto Katarina from the convoy. Even with the 5 extra forged hit, weapon triangle advantage, and weapon rank bonuses, these Poleax hits are still kinda shaky. Notice that Samson only got that kill because Katarina chunked that paladin. Indeed, only Palla and Zane can kill from full with the forged Poleax. We can chip this one with Astrum and that forged iron bow from chapter 2, but we're still forced to crit one of them with Minerva's Hawkclare because A, Fina had to be wasted on Marth, and B, Katarina has to be wasted on killing that thief. Daros gets this kill thanks to Astrum's chip damage, and that's why I needed a Horseman, someone with enough movement to keep up and enough range damage to set up kills for the weaker Draco Knights. This last one is left to Abel, and is exactly why I had to forge one might onto that Rider's Bane last chapter. Check out this bullshit now. Katarina is forced to fight this Silver Sword Thief at 1 range because she would pull the pack of horsemen at 2 range, and we are not ready for that. Marth has to move his max distance to reach the village next turn, but if he were forced to pass through the pillar tile, he would end up 1 tile short of the village. And like I said, Fina can't be any farther forward, and that's why this thief had to die this turn. Even after 2 fortifies, the ballista would still kill Katarina if it weren't for the Star Sphere. We also would have been fine if it were Sage Yumina instead of Bishop Cord, and I actually thought this turn was going to ruin the Cord route, until I figured out how to get the Star Sphere to Katarina. As it is though, Astrum soaked the ballista due to his low luck, and Violin's group of paladins showed up because we killed that thief. Now we have a moment to catch our breath now, quite literally as I'm recording this, but 2 turns after Violin shows up, we will be absolutely flooded by 20 powerful reinforcements all at once, essentially ending this playthrough. However, killing the boss prevents all reinforcements, so that's Pala's job this turn with the hammer, the light sphere, our first use of the Again staff, and our patented RNG rigging. Note that killing the boss earlier, which is actually quite easy on turn 1 for example, would prevent Violin's group of reinforcements from showing up as well, including Violin, so this is the earliest we could do it if we want to recruit everyone. Pala wins a Spirit Dust from the boss, which I'm sure Katarina will enjoy later, and Marth recruits Rocher from the village, who is the only unit who can recruit Violent. Abel and Zane take out the second thief for us, and Katarina rescues Pala out of danger. Observe that Fina is basically acting as a pivot point for this strat, facilitating movement between the left and right sides. It ended up looking pretty cool in my opinion. Katarina's ability to use stabs freed up Militia to use a Fortify, which in particular keeps Pala from dying to the ballista. Katarina does stop 1 tile short of her max movement, but that's so that a full health paladin will be in range of Zane next turn, who is currently quite far away from where this wave of paladins is about to crash into Katarina.
Giddy up.
Fina acts as our pivot point again, this time helping Rocher reach Violent. There's just an incredible amount of distance being covered every turn in order to go this fast. I can barely believe it's possible to do this. We have to clear the way to Violent first though, and this should mostly look familiar after last time, except that we don't need any crits. The hit chances are still kinda bad though, so we need a little help from the arena. Like last time, Katarina isn't available to help, as she has to keep moving to pull the pack of horsemen next turn. Always moving, never stop. Zane just barely reaches this full health paladin, which remember is important. We can't waste Zane or Pala on an enemy who's been hit already. We need the arena again because this next paladin has a killer lance and he knew how to use it. Rocher recruits Violent, who then scurries off to soak the ballista for Katarina with his 7 luck. The ballistae on this map have a 10% chance to have 8 crit instead of 9, which would mean neither Abel nor Violent can use the 2% crit rule, and that would definitely be a reset on this central ballista that's causing all our problems. As it stands, we've used all of our units, and 2 fortifies makes us look oh so pretty. Isn't this supposed to be hard? Katarina moves to pull the horseman out of range of the next recruitable character, because she will absolutely kill him. But I'm also going to bring Fina into the ballista's range here. We're going to kill that ballista next turn, but if she stayed at that last safe tile, until then, she would end up exactly 1 movement short of this 11 turn clear. So she's going to have to move now and dodge. Her 17 avoid goes up to 20 with the Star Sphere, and then to 30 with the Forest Tile, against the ballista's 98, for 68 displayed hit, which is an 80% chance for the hit to land. That's not great, but it saves a whole ass turn. You're listening to a man who replayed this entire run with Cord to save 1 turn. You better believe I'm taking this dodge. Marth finds a random number for Fina to dodge, and also for this first horseman to not crit Katarina, because he does have a killer bow. Until now, even with 5 Spirit Dusts, Katarina did not put the enemy paladins at or below half health, so this bishop never used his Fortify. The horsemen are pretty pathetic in comparison, so we do see that Fortify for the first time. Violend is the only character who can recruit Sedgar, which is why we couldn't pull this pack before. Like I said, these horsemen are defensively a lot weaker than the paladins, and so all of our Draco Knights can kill them from full with the Forged Poleax. And they've all got their bows equipped, so we don't have to worry about the reversal mechanic. The hit rates are still a little uncomfortable though. Rocher's Silver Lance plus the Rider's Bane is a nice looking kill. And you all know I love those Marth kills, coming in with his trusty Rapier on top of Katarina's Aura. Speaking of Aura, it's time for Katarina to put this bitch-ass Nightmare Ballista into the ground. Easily the most frustrating enemy unit placement in the entire game. Fuck that guy. So yeah, the horsemen, pretty pathetic. We didn't even need Pala's help, which is good, because she's got another job to do with Abel. There's one last unit to recruit, and we need to activate him by getting in his range way on the other side of the map, so that's where they're going. We're continuing our journey around the bend here, and Samson's gonna go lend a hand to Pala and Abel. The 2 ballistae south of the castle have some overlapping tiles, so we want to be careful to only be in range of one of them, and Abel's going to take back the life sphere since he has to soak the damage. Now Katarina gets in range to pull a couple nearby horsemen, and Astrum's low luck is going to soak the 1 ballista in range of us, but Fina can't move too far just yet. Believe it or not, I actually still need Rocher's help with something. Pala moves in range of Wolf, the last recruitable character on this map. As expected, Abel and Astrum used the 2% crit rule to soak the ballistae, and Katarina shows us even more of the Nosferatu tome. Wolf's silver bow doesn't really hurt Pala thanks to Yot's shield negating the effective damage bonus. Another enemy Fortify goes out because Katarina made the horsemen look like a couple of punk bitches, but that's fine. You can take out these horsemen pretty much however you want. Very low stress on these guys. Zane could finish this off with a Poleax or Rider's Bane, or the Devil Axe, but fuck it, I am done with this unreliable crap, we're going Silverlands, baby! Fina needs to move on to these forts, but instead of dodging the ballista like before, we have Katarina put that ballista into the dirt. But there are 3 more ballistae here, 2 of which can hit Katarina now, and she's also in range of a general who will kill her on top of either one of the ballistae. To solve this, we've dance extended Rocher, the only 10-move unit with lower defense than Katarina, into the range of only 1 ballista, while Sedgar's equal defense but lower avoid compared to Katarina will draw the other one. I had originally planned to use Violend and the 2% crit rule instead of Rocher, but oops! That particular ballista hit the 10% chance to have only 8 crit. So I had to scramble to find a replacement at the last minute while recording this. Shoutouts to Rocher for filling in. Once Wolf is activated, he'll start running towards your army, but in this case he'd actually go for Rocher towards the north, and then Sedgar wouldn't be able to reach him next turn. So I needed Pala to continue forcibly kiting Wolf towards Sedgar. This strat took Wolf and Pala out of range of committing a necessary war crime, which is why I had to bring Samson over to help Abel take out this defenseless bishop for a free men's staff. Sedgar is the only character who can recruit Wolf, and thus we have completed this nightmare recruitment chain in defiance of both God and the devil. Marth gets dance extended to the gate, and I never have to play this chapter ever again. This 11-turn clear saved 5 turns against my Vanilla Hard 3 run, thanks mostly to killing the boss and preventing reinforcements. I'm still not quite sure I could route those staff uses into this chapter in that run, but it's something I think about a lot. Anyway, this is the best FE12 video of all time, etc., etc. Thanks for watching.